This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good evening, welcome to this evening's newscast on Kaieteur Radio. I am Kevin Smith. Let's get to the news in detail. ExxonMobil disclosed yesterday that it has signed an agreement with High-Tech Vision through its wholly owned portfolio company, Neo Energy. This is for the sale of most of its non-operated upstream assets in the central and northern North Sea of the United Kingdom. The sale price of more than $1 billion is subject to closing adjustments and has an additional upside of approximately $300 million in contingent payments. On the heels of this announcement, Neil Chapman, the senior vice president of ExxonMobil, said that the company's most prized resources are in Guyana, the U.S. Permian Basin, and Brazil. He added that ExxonMobil is focused on increasing earnings potential and generating strong cash flow to fund future capital investments, reduce debt, and maintain a reliable dividend. And now let's tell you, with the monetization of its 9 billion barrels of oil equivalent resources, Guyana's leaders hope to raise the standard of living of its people, cut the nation's debt, and create a sovereign wealth fund with significant deposits. But the unfortunate reality that confronts the new oil-producing state is that it is in a weak position to accomplish these goals. This is according to Tom Sanzillo and Gerard Kreeft, two financial and energy advisors attached to the Institute for Energy Economics and Financial Analysis. To cement their argument, Sanzillo and Kreeft urged all Guyanese authorities to consider the case of Angola, which has hosted world oil developers for the last 25 years and is a cautionary tale for nations hoping to cash in on oil and gas development. And now let's tell you, while the average Guyanese were receiving a COVID-19 cash grant of $25,000, the above average commissioners at the Ethnic Relations Commission benefited from COVID-19 relief to the tune of $150,000. The chairman of the ERC, Reverend John Smith, made this disclosure as he refuted claims that the commissioners had benefited an excessive $150,000 as a Christmas bonus for commissioners. Smith's clarification that the payment was in fact COVID-19 relief comes on the heels of damning utterances made by an ERC commissioner, Haji Roshan Khan. And now let's tell you, Transparency International, a non-governmental organization formed to end corruption, has written to the United Nations General Assembly with an appeal for them to set a new global standard for transparency in company ownership. The organization said that almost 700 signatories from 120 countries endorsed the appeal. The list consists of renowned academics and research centers, companies and business executives, civil society groups and activists, as well as several government agencies and public officials. And now let's tell you, in today's installment of Understanding the Draft Local Content Policy, we will continue with the various jobs the government proposes to secure for Guyanese so as to ensure they benefit to the maximum extent from the oil sector. According to the document, the government is proposing to give oil companies a maximum of 5 years to give 60% of their contracts for information technology and communication services to Guyanese. And with that said, let's move on to telling you that Speaker of the National Assembly, Manzoor Nadir, yesterday cautioned media operatives against publishing instances of heckling during the 2021 budget debates, as it opens them up to the possibility of being slapped with a libel suit. His pronouncement comes one day after Kaieteur News published a report on the distasteful commentary overheard during the opening day of the budget debates by identified members of the National Assembly. Kaieteur News was informed that in the National Assembly, whatever comments or heckles are made while a member of Parliament has the floor is public record. However, commentary from other MPs while sitting are not. And moving on, the National Assembly convened for the second day of budget debates at the Arthur Chang Conference Center with some improvement on the vulgar heckling, which took place on the opening day. However, some members of Parliament continued to take away from the purpose of the budget debates to question the integrity of their opponents and making pronouncement on whose time in government was better, whether it was the last 5 years of APNU-AFC or the 23 years prior under the PPPC. While MPs like Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa and AFC leader Kemraj Ramjatan devoted speeches to the budget 2020, others almost completely ignored it. And that brings us to the end of this evening's newscast. I am Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Stream live